Starting to feel a dizzy spell coming on. Um, just a bit of like woozy. Do I have any more coffee? No. Yeah, I'm floaty. I'm just gonna put my head down. Alright. So, what do I want to say on this campaign? I liked it. It shows. It had some interesting ideas and it had some fun campaigns. The mission where we got to control the orcs, they would attack in and would dominate them through the disease clouds. That was fun. I enjoyed that. I think that was, that was a fun mission. The um, mission with the waves of like the rando undead being sent in against the elven forces. I think that was like two missions. The second last mission, the endless march. That was fun. Um, Even the mission we did there, that was fine. The feels the map design, the tile setting, or not tile setting. What's the phrasing they use? Eh, the map design sometimes felt a little hollow or just blunt, if you get me. In the literally, it was the Reign of Chaos one. The second mission was literally just like grasslands, but with strange just single rows of trees hemming you in. It looked kind of weird. Might look better if there was more trees. I don't know. To be honest, it kind of started looking like a ritual circle in a way. I'm not sure if that was deliberate or not, but basically the campaign has some interesting ideas or some fun things to it, but the design of the maps and levels is a bit weaker. Um, I'll still play more. I'll still come back and do the human campaign. They're apparently currently working on the voice acting and whatnot. I'll read the update on Synergy's thing. We're ending the casting call next Friday, after which we'll select the actors and move to VA recording and implementing. Azeroth Reborn, work on the Scourge campaign continues. We'll be ready by December 2025 as planned. Other projects, any other projects not mentioned here, is currently on standby until further notice. And then they have a little picture here of artists talking. Yes, when my power is drained, I can barely command my own warriors. The Lich King warned me that if I didn't reach Northrend soon, all could be lost. So, yeah. Ooh, Legends of StarCraft. They had a. I'm not sure. Is that Sinji show or is that a separate thing? Or is he just like advertising it? But it's. They had an interview with James Harper, voice of Arcturus Mengsk. Oh, they got Subsorian to help with the human campaign for this. Um, so that's cool. If you don't know Subsorian, you really should. He is a major voice within StarCraft, fan community. He is. Yeah, sorry, mind. Hey, where was I? Subsorian. I'm feeling kind of woozy right now, so it's hard for me to focus. Maybe I should wait, but let's keep going. So, Subsorian, who is he? He is a big name within the StarCraft fan community. He's a major lore buff. People, I think he's his own Discord, and people go there to ask him questions on the StarCraft lore. He, while there's other people working on it, he's very much the face of the StarCraft wiki. At least from where I'm standing. He's the when people think StarCraft, when I think StarCraft wiki, I think Subsorian. He's the kind of the main name attached to the people maintaining it. You know, he ended up being the face of it. He did get a shout out from Blizzard. I can't remember why, but they stuck. It's either for his work on the wiki or because he pointed out some issue and they actually ended up acknowledging it. He ended up getting a shout out in one of the war chests, a character named after him. But yeah, major lore buff for StarCraft 2. I believe. Did he get to work on one of those other games like Zero Space or something as a writer? Or was that someone else? I don't remember. I know Triple G's involved in something like that, but I don't remember about Subsorian. It's all a haze. Like I said, I'm kind of floating right now. But Subsorian's attached to the upcoming human campaign. Massively improved the writing. Synergy made changes to the maps to reflect these updates. Once they do a final writing pass, we'll move on to VA recording. They're already doing VA recording. Oh. They're ending the casting call next Friday. It has since ended, so they are. That's. I'm having a look at the calendar here and comparing the dates. The casting call ended almost a week ago, so the actors have probably already been selected, and they may have already moved on to recording and implementing. So yeah, that's cool. We may be getting the next campaign soon. Azeroth Reswapped is also a thing. It's a modification of Azeroth Reborn, where you play through the original campaigns, but choose your race at the beginning of each mission. Your hero, allies, and voice lines change appropriately. That's cool. Synergy has been working on Zero Space as a level designer. So, but yeah, I think I made every point I wanted to make there. It's cool Subsorian's attached to this, and Subsorian is a big name within the StarCraft community. He major lore buff. He's kind of the face of the editors running the StarCraft wiki. He has his own Discord where people go to ask lore questions. And he just generally put forward as like an authoritative voice on StarCraft lore. Remember my talk before? Like, I wish I had that kind of fuck you money to just like buy Warcraft. If I had the similarly, or buy Blizzard, end up in control of the properties, you'd want to bring him in for StarCraft. You really would. The guy knows his stuff. He certainly probably knows it better than the goddamn Blizzard writers. I'm sorry, I do have a grudge against the Blizzard writers. Like, didn't they pitch the, like, I swear the Warcraft Chronicles were pitched initially as lore Bibles. Apparently, at some point later on, they declared them to be non-canon. Well, questionably canon. They're no longer lore Bibles. They could be canon till Blizzard decides they're not. that they're made by biased scribes, and therefore not everything in them is true. They also put out lore novels and proceed to ignore them. It's it's really frustrating. It's why I've gone on and started playing Guild Wars recently. Just to find another MMO to get into, because I like the idea of an MMO. I like the idea of a multiplayer RPG. But, Blizzard just keeps shitting the bed and it keeps pissing me off. Um, Like they put out novels and declare them non-canon. They at a moment's notice, or they put out comics that override the in-game lore and the stuff you do. They hire people who don't know the Warcraft lore or the context of the quests to suddenly declare what quests are canon and in what order and the details therein. Um, like Bellier Gaming was talking about a thing a while back. They put out a Chronicles that apparently proclaimed that the Alliance War campaign in Battle for Azeroth took place before the Horde War campaign in Battle for Azeroth. The thing is, there's interplay between the campaigns. Events happen in the Alliance War campaign that are caused by the Horde War campaign's quests, and presumably vice versa. I've never done the Horde campaign. But the Horde campaign, like the Horde attack Cotiran territory from Zoldazar. But they get to Zoldazar during the Horde War campaign. So how can the Alliance have war campaign missions dealing with the Horde attack on Zoldazar if the Horde have not landed in Zoldazar till the end of the Alliance War campaign? And this is the book they put out expecting you to pay for it. Blizzard writing has never been great. They have had standout moments. They've had good storytelling. They've had moments of a fleshed out world. Sorry, my mind was drifting on topic. They have moments of good writing. They have good storylines or this and that. But then there's so much shit. Or fucking around. It's frustrating. It's so fucking frustrating. I think I really need to actually take a break from Blizzard stuff again for a while, because it's actually making me want to slam my head against the wall. Another example I keep going to is the Nixia questline. I don't know what the Horde do for it, but you have to do an achievement as an Alliance member to get to do the Nixia fight. And the achievement is a rather long quest chain, and it's rather involved, and it's rather hyped up. They then proceed to immediately decanonize it and make Varian Wren the one to actually oust the Nixia from Stormwind and to kill her in her lair. They then do a fucking callback to the quest they've decanonized in the recent Human Heritage quest, despite making them non-canon. Hey, remember this thing we said never happened? It makes no fucking sense. But yeah, it's an issue with Blizzard writing, where they'll just, they write on whim, and I can be a little free-floating with what I'm trying to do. But it's just oh, that disagrees with stuff I've done back here. Do I want this new thing so much that I will change it? Yeah, yes or no. But once I'm putting this shit out there, I'm going to leave it as is. Once it's cemented in place, I'm not going to suddenly take a sledgehammer to it. Blizzard is overeager to do so. They will retcon things at a moment's notice with no real goddamn care. They'll make allied races over nothing. Oh, the Dark Irons are an allied race and they've all this cool stuff. Oh yeah, the Draenei that are steeped in demonic power? Yeah, it's just a cosmetic shift. That's all. I nearly felt an organ explode there. I spasmed with so much rage. Anyway, this is just turning into me bitching about Blizzard writing. I actually do have a video on to put up of the biggest plot hole in StarCraft. To my eye, I've talked about it before in many a bit. Karrigan and her ability to mind control. She does it once and never again. She can basically mind control anyone into setting, but she does it once and never again. Except Duran. He's immune, but no one else is. And she never does it. It completely shits on the entire thing because it makes no sense for her to ever lose. That's basically the crux of it. So there's no point in doing the video, but I'll do it anyway because I might get attention. I'm kind of desperate for the channel to do well. But anyway, back to this. I do find there were some funny bits in this campaign. The bit with the Murlocs, I liked that. That was cute. The the writing in the campaign was serviceable. There were some interesting ideas with like the escorting of the um, meat wagons and whatnot. There were some interesting like mechanical things with the missions here. The writing was middle road. It was serviceable. It was fine. The level design I feel was a little weak. It was very blunt. I don't know. It was just there was a lot of just like being hemmed in by single row trees, and I know, like I know, it was very blunt and like kind of a sledgehammery. Just like, okay, here's like, look at the final mission. Here's base plot, straight walkway, base plot, curved walkway, straight, base plot, another walkway, base plot, and it's just like, I'm surprised there's not rows of trees along this. You know, it was. I know, it just felt a little weak. There isn't necessarily an issue with having just like a funnel to like direct the player in one particular direction. There isn't necessarily an issue with it. It's just a lot of the campaign is very it's kind of like that, A lot of missions were kind of like that. The mission where we had to build up our forces, like before attacking the main orc base. That was a fine mission. But like, look at that second mission, where like you're like wandering around, you're going around to get to the infernals, and it's just like you're not really in a forest. You're in this like sculpted row of trees. It's like a hedge maze of like single row trees just hemming you in. It looks kind of weird. So, and a lot of the campaign was like that, of just single row trees blocking you in. Once I started noticing it, it kind of just I stuck out in my head, and kind of just bugged me. But and then there'd be like little juts out behind them, like a hidden creep pack, and it'd just be kind of. I know it just ended up looking kind of odd. Um, I'm not really sure on how you would fix it, if you get me. But, yeah. Either way, I'm not saying I wouldn't play it again. I wouldn't play the next mission. I'm actually looking forward to, and I'm interested in seeing where they go from here. I have my criticisms of it, but I think it's still a fun enough thing to play. I'm interested in seeing where Synergy and Co. I doubt it's only him doing this. Like, we know Subsaurian's on it, but we don't know anyone else making these. It'll be interesting to see where it goes from here, basically. So, since I now have Synergy's mod launcher, I will be interested in having a look at other campaigns he's done. I just, I need to actually like focus on them and get them done, because I keep jumping around on them, and I keep also meaning to go back to goddamn when one domino falls. I need to go back to that. I've been meaning to. I just keep forgetting it. I got tilted that one mission because it was bugged, but now I have to do the mission again from the start, and it's just like I don't want to. I keep putting it off. Um, when this comes out, I will hope we've already picked it back up and you will have seen it. I plan on releasing like there'll be the episode Tilted comes out, and then the next day there'll be a new series as well as the next episode of When One Domino Falls. As long as I actually get off my ass, record it, and edit it. I've been doing terribly on actually editing footage for the last number of years. I've been stopping and starting a ton, so when I do check stuff, there's a lot of fuss and bother. I stopped and started plenty before, but to put it in reference, my first run of Dark Souls 3 came in at 60 something subsessions. So there'll be a number of them that were fine and didn't need to be checked. Typically the last subsession of each session. There may be in 8 sessions, there may be in 12, I don't know. But so there was a number of fine episodes. It's not fine subsessions that didn't need to be checked. So let's say that brings it down to 55 that needed to be checked. That's 55 minutes for an entire run of a game. And that probably came in at like 20 hours, 30 hours. I don't know. You can go check yourself. That's a pretty good transaction. I have 20 something hours of Guild Wars 2 recorded recently. And I've come in at 100 subsessions. It could be like 25 sub 30, but it's 100 subsessions. This alone is probably this series alone comes in at under at 10 hours and is probably about 20 something. It's best part of the alphabet already. I can actually tell you here. It's 32. 32 subsessions for it claims just under 6 hours, but I'm not sure how much it's counting of what I'm recording right now. And even then, this is just me ranting and raving like a fucking lunatic. So, let's go back to the topic at hand, as I lost my train of thought there. Oh yeah, it's just basically I've been slow at doing editing because it's a pain in the ass and it's boring, and there's also so much to do, and my head just hasn't been in it, and bleh. So there's been major delay for years on some footage. Years. But anyway, so yeah, I've had my just stuff that jumped out to me. Like the writing was serviceable enough; it was fine. The There's some humor to it. I enjoyed the bit with the Murlocs. Them pointing out the Nerazim, Natrazim phrasing overlap. Yeah, that's been bugging me. I can't remember which one's which. A lot of the time. There is, like, I start second guessing myself, so, yeah. But, so yeah, the writing is serviceable. There's some funny bits, like with the Murloc and the voice lines for Dreadlord. The map design has been on the weaker side. Very feeling very funneled in a lot of them, and it's just by one lines of trees. It's not like you're going through a canyon. It's not like you're. I know it just feels like artificially hemmed in a lot of the time. There's ways to hem a player in where it feels natural, but a fair few of missions didn't feel natural, and so it kind of just stuck out in my head and it kind of bugged me for the rest of it. You know? It's unfair, it feels, but a lot of this stuff is kind of like vibes based, so it's just, the feeling of it, just how it is. But there was some interesting ideas and some interesting things done on some maps. I liked the meat wagon escort. That was fun. Honestly, I was doing it on hard, but it was actually pretty easy. It's like none of the missions were actually too ball busty. I'm kind of used to some ball busty missions, so it was oddly gentle. I'm looking back at Arcane now mentally, and it's just like another thing I actually mean to get back to. I just have to rerun the whole campaign, and I'm not looking forward to that even on God mode. God no. I lost my saves. No, I have my saves, but I lost my profile trying to play other campaigns. Long story, but yeah, so I have to redo it all. Um, but yeah, there's some interesting ideas on some missions. Like I really like the corrupting the orcs through disease clouds. That was fun. I wish they'd done more with that. To just see it really like get the ball rolling of just corrupting an orcish force and playing with that. The corrupting an orcish force and playing with that. The meat wagon escort was fun. The like being able to go through like the weave of trees with my units was nice actually. Um, it's a minor thing, but it was kind of nice to see because that wasn't something you ever could really do in the base game. So there'll be either a thick forest or very sparse, and never would you be able to like go through the trees like you could on that mission. It was just a nice little like just you're in the middle battlefield, but you're going on a nature walk. It's cute. Um, I always love having allies just sending waves at the opponent. I know like allies are nice to have on missions, so it's. Yeah. I feel like I'm kind of grasping here, but there were some nice feels in some of the missions and some nice mechanics and ideas. It's just the level design kind of bugged me with being hemmed in weirdly. Um, I see what they're going for, and there's probably a better way to do it. I just don't know how to like how what it would be. Maybe if the forest was thicker, maybe if it seemed less artificial. Maybe if I didn't have flyers to see how limited it was, maybe that would be better. Sometimes it's just obfuscation rather than doing more. A lot of like game dev is about hiding stuff from the player. Like Left 4 Dead. Yeah, Left 4 Dead. The like zombies will just spawn in dead end empty rooms, but they're like out of the way where you can't see them. I remember seeing one person like glitch their way into one of the rooms. I think it was like on top of No Mercy. There was like a random like hole in the wall that zombies would like climb out of, and it's like a small empty room, just like no designs to it or anything. But the player isn't meant to be up there, so it's kind of like just like a safe place for them to spawn zombies from. It's like, oh yeah, they're pouring out from inside the building, and to the player it seems perfectly fine. But if you go up there, it doesn't look great at all. But but it's fine because the player isn't going up there. So if they just like if we didn't have gargoyles on that mission, if there wasn't fires there, and we just had to run around in that forest, it might look a little better. But as far as I remember, it was just like a thin line of trees. Of course, I was a little distracted last night, and I was also a bit tired, so maybe I'm misremembering it. So often my memory fails me right when I'm trying to make a point, then I realize, no wait, I'm entirely wrong on this. So it's just like at this point I'm just like, okay, I'm waiting for the other boot to drop, and make myself look like a fool. More so than I already do. But yeah, ultimately I liked this campaign and I will play more of it. The level design on the first one was fine. I didn't have any complaints there. Just some of them felt weaker than others. Or maybe a bit too, like, blunt. Heavy-handed. But, yeah, I'm certainly interested in seeing the human campaign. Though I'm seeing artists in the little thumbnail, in the little pic they're advertising for it, so I'm wondering what it's going to be like. So, I do hope you've enjoyed this, and I do hope you join me again soon. If there's anything at all you'd like to tell me, please let me know in the comment section below, but try and give me some context to it. Either quote what I'm saying, or provide a timestamp. So, and I do apologize that I'm all over the place here. I kind of just want to get this done, but I'm kind of floaty at the same time, so it's probably a poor choice in all honesty, but I'm just going to go with it. So just kind of want to give my immediate thoughts and be done with this so I can move on and not have to come back to it. So, I do apologize if I'm rambly or just a gibbering madman. So, yeah. Basically, I enjoyed the campaign. So, the level design on some of the missions was a bit weaker than others, and just didn't do it for me. But I'm still interested in the series. I'm looking forward to seeing, what they do with it. They're doing a human campaign. The voice actors have been chosen at this point, and they will hopefully be out soon. They seem to have the levels designed. They've done a final writing check, and they're getting the voice actors dealt with. So hopefully we'll have a human campaign out soon. Certainly by the time this is released, we will, because I recorded about 6 months of footage in like a few months back, and that's only coming to an end later this month, I think. So, and I've recorded more since, a lot more. So, in all honesty, this is probably coming out in 2026. So, I imagine the next campaign will be out. If they're going to do another one afterwards, they may even already started talking about their work on it. So, yeah. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But anyway, I do hope you've enjoyed. Like I was saying, if there's anything you would like to tell me, please let me know in the comment section below. That's what it's there for. Like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the channel out. If you want to play this yourself, I will, in the description, I'll include a link to the CCM. And you can find it there. That's where I downloaded it. You might be able to download it off the Synergies page, but that's where I downloaded it myself. So, yeah. Talk to you next time. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I've ranted and raved here for over 30 minutes. It's disgustingly long. I'm gonna blame the floatiness and just call it here. I did call it there, but I saw the end screen here. I guess this is the reforged version of it. Or maybe it's a fan mock-up of it. But, have my email there. Thank you, Blizzard. It's not like I haven't done that before. But, I like that scene, I like that shot, but now all I have in my head is The Chosen Ones by Dreamevil. Good song. Might have been actually what got me into Warcraft. Seeing the FMV someone made of that. Not FMV, AMV? Yeah, AMV.